Hey guys, it's 2:32. I know it looks like we're a little light, but we're going to be respectful of everybody's time and get started. What we'll do is let's start the way we always do with introductions, please.
Good afternoon. I am Christine Smith, Clerk to the Board.
Good afternoon. I'm Karen Lewis, Assistant Clerk.
Good afternoon. Commissioner Susan Rodriguez McDowell, honored to be voted in by the people of District 6. Thank you.
Good afternoon. I'm Laura Meyer, and I represent District 5.
Good afternoon. My name is Lee Altman, County Commissioner serving at large, and I also have the privilege of serving as Vice Chair. Welcome.
Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Mark Jarrell. I've been elected by the people of District 4, and I have the honor of serving as Chairman of the Board.
Good afternoon and welcome. My name is Arthur Griffin. I have the pleasure of serving as County Commissioner at large.
Good afternoon, Tyrone Wade, County Attorney.
Good afternoon and welcome. I'm Mike Bryant, Mecklenburg County Manager.
All right, executive team, please.
Good afternoon, Dr. Kim Campbell, Deputy County Manager.
Good afternoon. Leslie Johnson, Deputy County Manager.
Good afternoon, Michelle Attree, Deputy County Manager.
Good afternoon, Derek Ramos, Deputy County Manager and Chief of Staff.
Fantastic. All right, please join me for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. All right, before I turn it over to the manager and we get into the agenda, I want to do a couple of things. First, one thing for anybody who is joining us, whether you're here in person or via live stream, we like to make sure that everyone is clear on what our mission is, what our vision is, and what our board budget priorities are. So we like to make sure everyone understands that's what grounds us, that's what grounds our conversation and guides our conversation, and is also top of mind as we make decisions. Our mission: to serve Mecklenburg County residents by helping improve their lives and community. Our vision: Mecklenburg County will be a community of pride and choice for people to live, learn, work, and recreate. Our FY 26-27 board budget priorities are as follows: economic development, education, environmental stewardship, health equity and wellness, services for seniors, workforce development, and we do all of that under the umbrella of reducing racial disparities. So colleagues, just so we're all aware, there are 5 items on the agenda. This is something that we do on a yearly basis. I am going to start the conversations out for questions and or comments at 2 minutes so that we can get through as much as possible. If there is something that's burning that you just have to ask, that you did not get the opportunity to, just signal me. I'll either defer my time or allot additional time for specific questions. With that being said, I'm going to turn to Commissioner Leek for a second to please introduce herself before I turn it over to the manager.
Thank you. My name is Vilma D. Leek, and I represent the most powerful district in the county. That's District 2. Thank you for being here today.
Thank you, Commissioner. Mr. Manager, I'll turn it over to you.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. As our chair has mentioned, you do have 5 items itemized on your agenda. However, I would categorize them as 2. The first item is an update on the volunteer fire district to discuss a option regarding funding of it, as well as the property tax associated with it. And then the next item is fees. You know, each year as part of the budget process, we bring forward to you proposed fees as part of the manager's budget. So those are really the 2 items that we'll be discussing this afternoon, joined by members of the cabinet that will walk you through those presentations. Beginning first, Ebenezer will discuss the volunteer fire district item. So please recognize Eb.
Ebenezer, great to see you. You are recognized, sir.
Thank you, Commissioners and the County Manager, for the opportunity to present on this. As you can see, the title is a funding option. So one of the things we're going to work through is, what are we recommending from the department as to the funding for each of the volunteer fire districts. Again, as far as the outline is concerned, a short history and how we come up with the tax rate. their requests that we received, the raw requests, as well as the option that we are proposing to the board. Again, I'm not going to go into great detail. This has been presented to you every year. This is just a listing of all the volunteer fire departments that we fund. As you can see, the last two at the bottom, Steel Creek is the unique one that has 3 stations. West Meck runs 2 units out of the same structure because of the vastness of the area that they cover. From the history standpoint, we started at $80,000 in 2012. Now we are at about $1.25 million in 2025. So as you see, gradually over time that we have continued to increase our funding so that they can meet their obligations in serving the communities. Just as a refresher, this is what was approved last year as far as the VFDs were concerned. You see Huntersville and rural is a part of the county that is not served by any of the VFDs. So the town of Huntersville provides service to a small area, and the Charlotte Fire does as well. And the rest of them are all the volunteer fire departments that are served. And because of the tightness of the tax rate and the revenue, the only changes last year were Long Creek got an extra $100,000 because of a capital project, and we increased Huntersville and rural for $25,000 last year. And the rest of them remained flat. And the tax rate last year, as you see, the last 3 years has been 8.76 cents that is charged to the Charlotte ETJ in order to provide this fire service. For 27, again, looking ahead, staffing and response continue to be a challenge in that, as you know, it's majority of them volunteers. Steel Creek is the only one that has moved to a full-time mode of operation. And voluntary annexations. As you see, almost every week or every other week, there are more areas that are being voluntarily annexed. What does that mean? Your tax base is shrinking, but at the same time, there could be a time where one of these volunteer fire departments in the future may have to be, kind of wound down because that area now that they serve has primarily been annexed into the city of Charlotte. So I'm just putting that there so that you understand. And the third thing is CFD is actually constructing a new fire station about half a mile from the Long Creek Volunteer Fire Station and Cooks. It's still about a year to 18 months away. And what that will do in terms of service in that area is still yet to be analyzed, reviewed, and agreed to by the city of Charlotte. Just putting this on the radar so as we go into the future, there may be some changes. And the fourth consideration is the long-term tax burden. This is the requests that we received from each of the volunteer fire departments for FY27. As you can see, they have requested $2.35 million more than they got last year. This is based on some of their desire to, increase more of operations, a little bit more in the capital, and also to provide some incentives to the firefighters. This is kind of the summary table. Additional capital, you will see right there, the third column from the left. These are one-time projects that, for example, a fire code change happened. Now, a couple of the fire stations have to install sprinkler systems. So we are giving them capital to be able to accomplish that. That's one-time capital. So as you see, the bottom line is they want $2.35 million. They requested $2.35 more than last time. Steel Creek, in particular, as I said, because of their movement from volunteer to full-time, they have programmed in some compensation alignment. They wanted to add a battalion chief position because they have 3 stations right now in order to be able to coordinate activities across 3, a cost stabilization, and a capital allocation increase by $200,000. They think that'll help them kind of recruit and retain full-time firefighters to be able to serve there. This is just, I took a snapshot of their request. For example, you see the battalion chief right there, about $84,000 a year for 3 full-time. Again, remember, these guys operate 24/7. So they need 3 chiefs for each of those shifts throughout the day. So this is just some of the summary. The request, again, 2.35 more than FY26. FY26 was 12.8 million. FY27 is 15.2. That's the difference. If, based on the estimated value, if we held the tax rate the same, 8.76, it would only generate about $13.5 million. Okay? Remember, last year, 12.8 was what we gave. The new request is 15.2. So, but the revenue estimate based on that tax rate is only going to be 13.5 million. Which means if we wanted to give them everything that is asked for, requested, the tax rate would have to go up to 9.81 cents. Part of the thing we track as a department as well is what the total tax burden is, between LESD and volunteer fire overall in the ETJ. So this goes up to 9.81. But take heart, we are not recommending going to 9.81. And that's 9.81 would generate about $15.2 million to be able to fully fund their request. The considerations have been the same as of last time. Continue 4 people per station, full funding for the 3 stations at Steel Creek. And we are going to require that they have 4 firefighters always on duty at the station, because of which they had to make some changes as well. So this is our funding recommendation to each of these volunteer fire departments. We are recommending for Cooks, you see there, an increase of $50,000, Steel Creek an increase of $776, Carolina $150, West Meck $300,000, and Long Creek $191. Just as a note, we did present this to the chiefs, and they did acknowledge, we asked for everything we possibly could, and we can work within the numbers you have provided for us. And this recommendation keeps the tax rate the same. Our recommendation to the board is to keep the tax rate at 8.76, and I'm going to tell you how we're going to fill the rest of the gap. So we see the overall change is $1.54 million, more than last year, which they would receive additional dollars. That still leaves us a difference of about $800,000 that is yet to be filled. And so this is kind of what we are recommending. You may remember, or you may not, but we actually have a small fund balance for these volunteer fire districts. The reason we build a fund balance is every so often we have to replace the radios. The radios cost almost $2 million. And then they also have unforeseen capital expenses that come. For example, this past year, 2 of the fire stations had their fire truck engine blown out, which is $300,000 a pop. So we keep a little bit of a fund balance, and that's what you saw us coming to the board. So what we are doing is some of their requests that they have asked, we have said in case it comes up during the year as a capital expense, we will review it, consider it, and then take it to the board to bring out a fund balance. We are just not fronting them right now. So our strategy is you will have about a $734,000 increase. You see that in the revenue estimate from just the tax value and the revenue, and taking about $800,000 from the fund balance to close that gap so that we have all the money that each of the VFDs need while keeping the tax rate the same. And the remaining about $800,000, we'll still have it in fund balance. So as the need arises for them, we can come back to the board through the year and then appropriate it. But we will have all the chiefs review the need and make sure it is a valid need and an expense, and we'll come back to do that. So our recommendation is to leave it at 8.76 while using $800,000 from fund balance to be able to meet the request by the volunteer fire districts. That ends my presentation.
Thank you, Ebenezer. Let's do this. I'm going to come to everybody. Let me start with the vice chair first, and we're going to start with 2 minutes.
Thank you, Ebenezer. Thank you, Mr. Chairman. You mentioned in one of your slides, it said, voluntary annexations continue. Can you really briefly, because I don't want to lose too much time, just remind me how annexations are proceeding? Because I was under the understanding that they were a little bit frozen.
That's why we call it voluntary annexation, is that if the developer wants to voluntarily annex to the city, they can do that. And so we have quite a few developments and subdivisions that are in the ETJ approaching the city of Charlotte, and the city council is approving those annexations after review by the appropriate city departments. So they are saying we want to be part of the city of Charlotte. So there is actually a tracking spreadsheet. I can get the most latest one from the city. As of last time, it's about 130 acres worth of voluntary annexations happen, but I'll get you more information.
And once they get voluntarily annexed to the city of Charlotte, then they're being taxed and delivered services through the city of Charlotte, yeah?
I'm not an expert, but there may be a lag of when that happens, but yeah, ultimately they will be transferred. There may be about no more than a year where the city will begin to tax that area at that tax rate, and they fall off our ETJ.
For delivery of fire services. Did I hear you say that all the chiefs view the need and make sure that it's a valid need?
Yes.
So are you telling me that when you make a decision about fund balance expenditures, it's actually the chiefs, not just you alone?
No, the
making
capital
these-
expenses, Commissioner. What I mean to say is, for example, if Steel Creek comes and says, we have this $400,000 capital need, they submit it to us and we circulate it to the chiefs, all 6 of them. Unless at least 4 of them say we agree it's a valid need, only then we put it forward.
Oh, that's great.
So-
I'm so happy to hear we have that sort of collaboration and shared governance and expertise with these important decisions. Thank you, Mr. Chair.
Thank you. Commissioner Rodriguez-McDowell.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Thank you, Ebenezer, for this presentation. I did speak with my guys, and they agreed with this, because I always check with them first. And I do want to say that, you know, that is a change, that is that's progress that's happened over the last several years, that they're collaborating that way, and it is fantastic, and I credit you for bringing that forward, Ebenezer, and for working with them in such a great cooperative way. I also just wanted to ask, to jump on the back of what Commissioner Altman said, if you could provide like some sort of map, especially in the Still Creek area, of those annexations, that would be fantastic.
Yeah, sure, Commissioner. Let me work with the city to get that
Okay.
information. Steel Creek, not as much. We are seeing more in the West Meck area because of the
Okay.
River District and all those developments that are going in.
All right.
And some in the, the Robinson area, Mint Hill, that side.
Okay.
Steel Creek, we still do have some. For example, the outlet mall.
Mm-hmm.
When they purchased it and they built it, it was in the ETJ, but they voluntarily annexed to the city.
Yeah.
So we don't get any revenue from the taxes of the outlet mall,
It would be
for the
interesting
fire,
to see
yeah.
how those are,
Sure.
how it's sort of chopped up the area. And then on the one-time funding,
Mm-hmm.
can you explain, if you're going to take money out of fund balance, what's the knock-on effect for the next year? Does that mean that it'll be definitely a tax increase the following year because taking out of fund balance is not ongoing funding?
No, we actually have about $5 million in that account, Commissioner. So I'm only proposing to use about $800,000 because we know in 2 years we have a $2+ million expense for radios. So that's why we've been careful in not spending it down. So that's part of our effort. Again, our goal is to see how much we can manage within the existing revenue, but I cannot guarantee that, just depending on the needs, how that goes. But also, speaking to Commissioner Altman's point, as the area gets smaller, and you still need the same revenue, that means the taxes have to go up. Again, that's a balancing act we will have to do.
And Commissioner, it's
Yeah,
also supporting one-time expenses, so it's going towards the capital.
It is going to one-time expenses. Oh, okay, I missed that. I
I'm sorry,
thought
yeah.
it was going towards
No,
the general. Okay.
not operational. correct.
Okay, that totally makes sense. Thank you so much. Appreciate it.
Commissioner Griffin.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Ebenezer, thank you for your presentation. I happen to live in that area on the bottom side. Would love to my neighbors would love to get annexed into the city and pay city taxes. Unfortunately, there are a couple of neighborhoods that separate them, and in 2012, thereabouts, the General Assembly changed the law regarding voluntary annexation, that you had to be contiguous. And so there's a neighborhood or two between us that didn't even want the Palisade High School to be built there. But they didn't have the authority to change that. So we're in a bad spot. But the challenge, though, is that little bit of territory is just booming in terms of development right now. Condominiums, single families, attached, detached, is just blowing up. And they're taking it all the way down to the lake. I mean, all the way literally down to the lake in terms of development. And all that's in the ETJ. So I really like the idea, Mr. Manager, about the looking at fund balance for that one-time capital expenses, but also the collaboration with the chiefs in that area to make sure that the coverage is appropriate for safety and protection of property. During our budget process, if there's an opportunity for Ebenezer or someone to have a map about the proposed annexations, as well as that little part where they have all these orphan roads, it really would be helpful for the other commissioners to get a visual of that part of the county. Mr. Chairman, thank you very much for the 2 minutes.
Thank you, sir. Commissioner Meyer.
Thank you. Thank you, Ebenezer, for this, and I hate to rehash what everybody's already said, but it does bring me comfort that the chiefs are cooperating and collaborating. So to the manager, I mean, I know this is a proposed model. What is your opinion?
I support it.
Okay.
I support it.
That's all I wanted. Thank you.
Commissioner Leek, did you have anything?
Yes, because you're talking about Steel Creek, and we're talking about West
Meck.
Charlotte, I think. But you're saying that the tax increase will not be levied now. It'll stay the same. So what people
Yes.
have paid for how many years?
This tax rate has been the same for the last 2 years, and we are saying keep it the same for 1 more year.
All right, so my people will be able to meet the needs because of the growth also that we talk about within the confines of these areas.
Yes, ma'am.
And many of the areas that's building is also within District 2, just down the street from where my apartment complex is a brand-new facility. And there's housing and apartments going on. So I understand what you're saying, but I am worried about regular taxes on property. What will this do to the property that people own? Will it increase or not?
I'll let county manager.
Just point of clarity, Commissioner Leek, this is specific to the Fire Protection Service District.
Right.
You'll hear more regarding property taxes when I release my budget on May 14.
All right, the reason I asked that question, because taxing is taxing.
It is.
If it's going up, it's going up.
That's correct. And for this particular tax, the what is being presented to you all is that it will remain flat, and it would only impact those residents in the ETJs of our community.
That Mr. Griffin was talking about.
That's absolutely correct.
Right. So thank you so much. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you, Commissioner. Thank you, colleagues, for the comment. So Ebenezer, it looks like at least out of the commissioners that are here, the 6 that are here, certainly support this. I certainly think it was a great presentation. A few points. One, you gave us clarity on what the full need is, or the entire ask. You went back and collaborated with the chiefs and said, okay, here's where we can go, and we didn't have to raise taxes. And so I definitely support it, appreciate the leveraging of the fund balance, knowing that, there was $5 million in there. And so I definitely fall just with my colleagues, certainly supportive of it. A great presentation.
Always makes it very clear.
Absolutely.
Thank you.
Thank you, Eb. So you want to go into your presentation, because we have a different sequence here, but it's fine if you're going to kick off. So, Mr. Chair, we're going to shift gears to the proposed fee adjustments for next fiscal year. You have 4 presentations, and it looks like Ebenezer is going to kick this one off.
Sure. Okay. Again, good afternoon, Commissioners, and thank you, County Manager. These are the fees.
Welcome back.
Thank you. These are the fees as you know, within Louisa. GIS is the only group that gets a little bit of the tax revenue. The rest of the divisions are funded through fees. And as expenses increase, we have to adjust that on an ongoing basis, and we have financial models that we have established, and they look at about a 15-year financial model in order to adjust the fees to meet our obligations. So this is, first I'll walk through air quality. Again, the air quality fees, this is primarily for the permittees, those folks that have permits with air quality. The EPA publishes annually a percentage based on the CPI and other calculations to say this is kind of how much you can adjust the fees to. And we have included that as part of the air quality ordinance a few years ago. So annually, we just adjust based on that. So going for FY27 is going to be 2.65%. And so this is kind of how it's going to shake out for the large Title V facilities. I'm not going to go through every one of these, but the strikeout is the current year's fees, and the new is the the black letter numbers are the new fees. For example, application fee is $13,050 currently. It's going to go up to $13,400 for large facilities. These are Title V. Typically, any facility that has more than 100 tons of pollution, et cetera, as defined by the federal law. So these are the various kinds of facilities we have, and there's an annual emission fee also at the bottom. You see it's going from 65 to 67, an annual ambient air monitoring fee of $340. All these fees kind of as a whole support what air quality does in terms of, compliance inspections, monitoring, and also all the outreach that they do with the community on an ongoing basis. As you know, they recently celebrated 365 days of no, red days, and it was a very successful one. There's another adjustment also we are looking at for demolition. This is only paid by the user. If you are a facility that's going to want to demolish a property, they have to come and apply for a permit. Part of the issue we have with demolition of properties is some of the older ones have asbestos in them. So it's a lot more involved. It's just not a basic demolition. So air quality gets involved in reviewing all the applications to make sure there is no asbestos and other issues with potential demolitions. And so we are simplifying the model. Any structure less than 500 square feet for demolition, they're going to charge about $150. Up to 5,000 is $200. 5,000 square feet or larger is $400. This is nothing but a cost recovery of the level of review and services that need to be provided. Now going to code enforcement, the state has revised its fire code and has now required the fire marshal and the fire departments to conduct inspections. They have added more categories to it. As you know, the fire marshal provides these services in the ETJ. And so we are having to update our fee schedule to align the fees to the services that the new fire code is requiring. For example, of emergency responder communication systems. As you know, you have these big warehouses that are going up. Now, because of the size and the kind of material that are used in construction, sometimes, as you know, if you go into a Walmart, you can't get a cell phone signal. Sometimes, because it's a metal roof, And so there is some of those things. And so they're actually asking to put in equipment for emergency response communication within those large structures. And so because of those changes, now there's a plan review that needs to happen and a field inspection. Private fire hydrants. Now this has become also common for the new developments. If there's not infrastructure, they have to put it in. And so before they can connect it to the overall system, there's some testing done and review done. And land development reviews in the ETJ. This is not a lot of work. There's only a limited number of projects that will fit into this category. We're estimating about $68,000 in new revenue that will go to the fire marshal to provide these services because these have been now added to the fire code in 2024. And broadly, the demolition fee schedule currently, if you want to demolish, let me just kind of walk you through the concept of demolition fee. The demolition fee has different aspects to it. One, air quality reviews it for asbestos and other harmful materials that potentially could become airborne and cause illness. Environmental health will have to review it to make sure there's no vectors in there, animals living, rats and rodents and all that kind of stuff. The Historical Commission may have to look at it if it is in the district or is a designated property. Code enforcement permits it to make sure that it's demolished properly and properly removed so there's no structural issues with that. So at least 4 different groups are involved in reviewing a demolition permit. Historically, this is what were the fees that were being charged, but also they were based on a formula. The formula has become too complex, and so we are proposing to get rid of it and amend it. I'm not going to, you see on the conditions, if N and V and Y and so on and so forth. If it is historic and environmental health, then this is the percentage distribution, et cetera, et cetera. It got too confusing, so we are actually going to a flat fee, where you see code to review the permit application to make sure it is properly approved. This is the fee they charge based on the size of the property, air quality, EH is environmental health, to review for vectors, and Historical Landmarks Commission, you see that there's an asterisk. They will only charge for if the properties are in the historic district or it's a designated property. Otherwise, they will not review those applications. As you know, there's a lot of new development in town, sometimes it involves demolition of existing structures. And so this is the fees that we charge just to recover our cost to provide these services. GIS. For GIS, many of you have used it and you use a lot of these apps and the layers, et cetera. But there is some service that GIS has historically provided we did not charge a service for. One is the addressing. Every time a developer comes into town and wants to build something in a new street, GIS does a lot of work in assigning street names and giving addressing and the part of the addressing involves making sure there's no other conflicts in Mecklenburg County. If there's 1, 2, 3, 4 State Street, if there's more than one, then when an emergency call comes in, they don't know where to go. So GIS behind the scenes has to validate that there's no similar or conflicting address anywhere in Mecklenburg County. But once the address is issued, they report it to Duke and Charlotte Water and code enforcement and all these people so that development activity can take place. But just not that. Apple Maps, Google Maps, US Postal Service, all of these people take that data because that's kind of the marker. And so this is only for new addresses. So if a developer comes and wants to build 400 homes, we are issuing 400 distinct addresses for them. And then a parcel mapping fee, whenever a parcel is, when they take a 30, 40 acre parcel and divide into smaller lots, every one of those lots has to be mapped in our GIS system. And we have technicians that are doing the mapping. Again, this is only for the user. But the community has been historically paying that or bearing this cost. So we are proposing, and these are some of the fees that other counties, we kind of did a survey. You see, this is Pima County, Arizona, number 2, new assignment address, they charge $73. For a new street name, they assigned it to $440. And so we wanted to make sure that we are not out of the ballpark or, is there something, a novel fee? So we just, again, went through, this is Maricopa County, $50 an address that is charged. Clark County, Nevada, I'm not going to do all of these. Clark County, Nevada, you see addressing is $110, or early addressing, $100. So these are some of the fees, but what we are proposing is just $35 for each new address for our developers. So when they come in to build a new structure and they need a new address or a new, so it's $35 and $50 fee for parcel mapping. So whether you are breaking up a parcel or combining parcels, behind the scenes, our guys have to go, when a survey is registered with the Register of Deeds, we have to validate it to make sure and then put it properly in place in our system. But that's a service only being provided to that user. And so that's why we are proposing this fee to kind of offset some of the costs that GIS has, which is currently funded partly by the property taxes, but we think this is a reasonable fee to pass on to the development community because that's a service they are receiving from us. Stormwater services. This is as you know, stormwater, we have kind of 2 buckets. We have the land development bucket where we do reviews and plan reviews and inspections for the towns. But stormwater, also we do stream restorations, flood buyouts, and all the other projects that have a community benefit. When we ran the model in February 2025, these were the capital expenditure forecasts that we had kind of projected. By the time you came to February 26, costs have gone up, and the total increase in the capital needs just in the same window has now gone up $18.5 million. I think I mentioned it to you when I made the previous presentation. We had seen about a mile of stream restoration to cost about $3 million. Recently, we saw them going all the way up to $7 million because of just the cost of construction, cost of land acquisition, easements, and just the work. So costs have been significantly going up, but at the same time, you also hear from the community, we're having flooding, the stream has to be restored, et cetera, et cetera. And so since stormwater is a self-funded organization, $18.5 million is the increase that we are projecting. And so the fee increase by the model, as I told you, we have a 15-year model that we run with finance to make sure how do we bond, what do we bond, how much amount do we bond, when do we do it, and what is the fee adjustment that has to happen on an annual basis so that we can meet our capital needs. As you saw, For example, next year it's $49 million in FY27 is what stormwater needs in order to keep the ELAP goals, keep those projects moving forward for all the miles of stream restoration we want and the number of properties we want to purchase based on flooding. So the projection, this is historically in 2026, this is what the model said and we presented to you. At the bottom line, you see 15% was what was projected for FY27, 20% adjustment for FY28, and 20% for FY29. With bonding, $25 million this year, $10 million next year, and $10 million the year after. This was what the model told us last year. So what we are wanting to do is keep with the same. We are not asking you to go beyond what the model said last year. So we are proposing a 15% adjustment, just like the model said last year. Consistent, you see that the same thing also in 2025. The model said 12.5 in 26, but 15% in FY27. So consistent with the model, even though our costs have gone up, we are changing our bonding strategy to help make sure we are not going significantly up, but still be able to meet our capital goals. So what does that mean, all of that speak? This is the fee that is charged to the homeowners based on how much impervious property they have. The monthly rate, for a tier 1 is $1.36. It's going to go up by 20 cents. Okay? And you see the graduated increase based on how much impervious property they have. So for commercial per acre, it's going to go up by $5 an acre. That's the monthly rate increase. In order that we can have enough money between bonding and the fees to be able to meet our capital obligations. If we do not do that, then, for example, just when Helene happened, remember we came to the board $8.5 million. We were able to pull from our fund balance, solid waste fund balance to pay for the property's acquisition, but we ended up spending almost 11 from other funds that we have. And so there's a portion of it we have to replenish. We still need to be planning for what we need to go forward with. And these are the land development fees. These are actually agreed to by the towns. This is a user fee only. If somebody wants to build a large subdivision, I'll just use that, large subdivision greater than 25 acres that is going to be cleared in any of the towns, land development, stormwater land development is the one that does their plan reviews for them. That fee is going to be $39,800. That is based on the level of effort that was needed to review those historically, and all the town managers and Don, they are a committee, they review that annually to make sure it is within what is acceptable, and this is what the town managers also have recommended that we adjust the fees to. But again, these are only paid for by the developers that are going to be actually doing this in the towns. These are just an extension of the same fee table. Only a couple of the fees are changing based on the cost to provide the service. Lastly, solid waste. The residential availability fee, as you know, is a fee that is added on the property tax bill annually for every county property. This residential availability fee, we first presented the financial model. It is also a 15-year model that was presented in 2022. As you know, from then we've been saying this is kind of the adjustments that we needed over time to be able to meet all the facility construction obligations. The FY27 model run projects about a $7 per property annually increase. And let me tell you, I think just to kind of put it in context, Steel Creek, the property, if you now drive by Tryon Street South, you will see the land being cleared, it's being built, the recycling center. The engineer's estimate a year and a half ago, when we initially got the engineer's estimate, it was coming in at $32 million to develop that facility. When we went out to bid, the lowest bid was $44 million. It's just that costs have gone up, and the cost of construction has gone up. And so this is the history of all the fees that you have approved over time, 2022 onwards. 24, 25, and 26, we went up by $5 a year. And our proposal, the model based on this year, is going to be $7 for 27, $7 for 28, and $7 for 29 for us to meet our capital obligations. And the reason we are requesting that is follows. 2028, the county's contract with Republic Services ends to take our trash to the Speedway landfill. 2028, it's only 2 years away. Speedway is in the process of getting the landfill expansion done, but they're only hoping for another 5 to 7 years, which means the maximum life out of that landfill is only going to be another 8 years max. But with the population growth, that may further come down, which means we have to have all the infrastructure in place to plan for the long term. And that's why we are so capital intensive. We are building transfer stations, we are building recycling centers, so that when the time comes when we no longer have landfill space, the only other option is to truck it to 2 counties away. For which, if you want to have a trash truck, which is 32 tons, right, approximately, drive the highways and come back, there's a lot of wasted time. So the transfer station allows the smaller trucks to transport it into a larger truck so we can take it out of the county. And so we are planning, that's why we are planning 5, 7, 10 years out. And these are the capital needs that we have in order to do that. We did issue a $45 million bond in FY25, and the model says we have to issue another $12 million in FY28 and another $8 million based on what we know now in 30, but that is subject to refining as we go and the costs become more clear. These are all the projects solid waste has on tap to be able to do. The various recycling centers, $159 million. Again, remember, this is all paid for by the fees. And our model said that we need about $20.5 million more than we projected just last year based on our current capital expense. And so our proposal is for 27, 28, 29, based on what the model is telling us, it has to be $7 increase this year and possibly $7 next and the year after, but that we will come back to you next year based on what the model says to be able to refine that number further. The residential availability fee, again, that's what is the $7, but the rest of the fees are, we call them technical fee adjustments. These are users only. If somebody comes to our landfills facilities. Speedway, we have a contract, as I said, with Republic Services. The contract goes up just by a contracted amount. So that has to go up by $1. This fee is only paid by the city and the towns because they pay us and we manage the disposal. We are working with Republic to see if we can get a shorter extension even before they get the approval for the expansion, and we are diligently working on that. And these are the fee adjustments that we are going to be recommending. Construction debris, this is the trash or the debris that goes to Foxhole. This is the gate rate that they would have to pay. This is only paid for by the users, commercial. Yard waste, out-of-county residential stickers, because Foxhole is right on the border with South Carolina, we have a lot of guests from Lancaster County, South Carolina, that want to use our facility. So we sell them a sticker, about $120. They still have to pay the other fees if that's what they bring in, but they get the privilege of coming and using our facility because they don't pay the residential availability fee. This is a fee that they pay in order for the privilege to use ours. Commercial recycling, it's going to go up by $20 a month. This is a voluntary program for participants who chose to have full business recycling. So we collect from some businesses, some recycling, because we are not really involved in the collection model, 70 businesses that pay us monthly to take their recycling so we can then recycle it appropriately. That's all I have for Louisa, air quality, GIS, stormwater, code, and solid waste.
All right, that was quite a bit. We'll go with 1 minute. How about that? No, I'm just kidding. We're going to go to 3 minutes, Madam Clerk. Commissioner Griffin, you want to kick us off?
Yes, sir. Thank you, Mr. Chairman. One of the questions I've had over the last couple of years, Mr. Managers, are we charging enough for this growth? When our chairman made his State of the State presentation, he said, I think it's 87 people per day for Mecklenburg County, 157 for the region. That's phenomenal. Mm-hmm. You know, I live in an area, but I'm saying the entire county is growing. So if we're responsible for some of these growth expenses, let's spread the joy. Okay. the taxpayer that's been here constantly is footing these growth bills. Let's let growth pay for itself and do whatever we have to do to make that a fair deal for the residents here of Mecklenburg County. So I don't know what the ins and outs of the numbers, Mr. Manager, but I would support making sure that those dollars reflect the cost as opposed to deferring it on the people who've been here and the folk who are generating these developments and buildings and stuff. You know, they need to be able to pay for that. Right across the road from me, is it my 3 minutes already?
No, sorry.
Oh, right across the road from me is South Carolina in Fort Mill. They have an impact fee. You build a house, they tack $1,000, $2,000 on it, et cetera, and other fees. We don't do that here in North Carolina. So at least we ought to be charging the appropriate fees for the actual cost of that business. So I could talk longer, but the reason people are coming to Mecklenburg County is because a lot of the current taxpayers have paid for the quality of life that exists here in Mecklenburg County. So people are coming here because we do things. And when I worked in New York, Mr. Chairman, you're from New York, I used to say, look at these dirty fire trucks and stuff. I mean, people come from New York and come to Mecklenburg County and see a clean, pretty, red fire truck that's not dented up and stuff. So taxpayers are paying for this quality of life that people are enjoying. So I'd like to make sure, Mr. Manager, that we are charging the right fee, not just for today, but those areas where, like garbage, that we are projecting out to make sure that that quality of life continues. So that's my only comment, Mr. Chairman, is that the manager charges the appropriate amount for growth. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
No, thank you. Commissioner Leak.
Thank you so much for this presentation. And it frightens me for my people when we talk about increasing the cost, but yet someone has to pay the cost for the growth that we're having, as just been talked about. And we hear it every day, and certainly the county does its part. How do we disseminate this information for understanding for people who move here, and with the city council making sure that on a piece of land, not one house, but 4 houses can go now? So how does that impact the tax growth for us in Mecklenburg County?
Thank you, Commissioner, for that question. I can just mention, of all the fees that I mentioned, only 2 are charged countywide to every structure, for example, stormwater and solid waste. The rest are user fees. So people that use it pay for it. And so just wanted to kind of make that clear. But as once the board approves it, once the county manager presents it and the board approves it, we will reach out to all our, the working groups we have and the email list we have, and we'll send out the information to all our customers.
Have to commend you for sitting down and making sure that it's appropriately done to present to us to understand it. My question still is, how do we get the average citizen to understand what the increase might be and why we have to have the increase?
Sure.
Because of what growth is doing to us. And we're asking the city to do a moratorium, stop the growth until we can meet the needs of the people who's coming. And nobody's listening. My question again is anybody listening? Does anybody care? Yes, we're listening, but evidently some people are not caring. So I want my people to know that we are looking at it appropriately and that the information will be disseminated so they can understand. How does this impact big businesses when we sign contracts with companies to come and bring jobs to us? Is this spelled out to them?
I mean, these are part of the county's charges. We don't necessarily reach out to them, but all the information is available, Commissioner. We do, they will know it when they, for example, if a company is coming and they want to build something, code will reach out to them and say, this is all what it takes to be able to build here appropriately. So just depending on the need, we do reach out.
Thank you. That's my concern when we bring in companies to offer jobs for people who need to work and in communities, but yet there is a stipulation of a fee that has to be paid by this company beyond what they say to us when they present the contracts. Am I right? You're smiling.
He can't answer that. Thank you, Evan, for that. Let me go to Commissioner Meyer.
Thank you, Mr.
Thank you so much. Just before the meeting began, you and I had a conversation, and so I just want to, for public record, for the public to understand that stormwater and solid waste are not funded by taxpayer money, correct?
Correct.
And can you explain, like you explained to me a minute ago?
Sure.
Can you explain why, and that this is total, I think people think it's supplemented. What they're paying is a supplement. So can you explain?
Yeah, thank you, Commissioner. Stormwater, actually, it's a city-county utility. It's run like Charlotte Water and Duke Energy. So they have to charge fees to recover the cost of providing the service. And stormwater's mandate is to reduce flooding and improve water quality in our rivers, streams, and creeks. And so that's kind of what they look at, how much money is needed to make all these happen. And then they back into, like I said, the 15-year model, see how much money is needed to provide those services. Stormwater does not get any money from the property tax revenue. Similarly, solid waste is also kind of run like a utility, although it's not a utility, that it has to pay for all its expenses through the fees and the charges.
Thank you.
And so part of that involves also planning for capital, means sometimes we have to charge it just a little bit more so we have the money to be able to pay for projects that are down the line.
Thank you. I appreciate it. That's all.
Commissioner Rodriguez-McDowell.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. So it's not paid for through property taxes, but the fees are
Correct.
taxes?
Yeah.
Okay. So on both stormwater and solid waste, I was looking at your charts, and in the first year, like on page 22 or page 33, whichever one you're closer to. So like FY '26, it shows, that it was down, right? It was 10.
We spent 10 million less than we
Yes.
thought this year, but next year we're going to spend 11 million more.
Right,
And the
so
projection is 14 more in '28, correct?
Right. So, well, first of all, those are huge jumps, right? And so, I mean, this is a nightmare to try to keep up with the increases. I totally get that. But in both cases, for stormwater and solid waste, can you just explain why is it that both of them, it's less in that first year, but then it jumps up in the next years? Like, why is it like that?
Great question. I'm sorry, I'll give you context. Stormwater, for example. We had planned 4 miles of stream restoration. But because of the government shutdown, our permits are approved through FEMA. So we have almost 3 miles of that stuck. Designed, ready to go. But unless FEMA says, here's your permit approved to construction, we can't do that. So some of the costs that were avoided this year are not by any of our own doing, but it's just that the federal government shut down and the processes, they could not issue a permit in time for us to begin construction. So that's why that money has not been encumbered. Same thing with solid waste. Steel Creek, we were wanting to start 6 months ago. It's just that by the time the paperwork got caught on, the contracts were in place and all that, it took a little bit longer, and therefore, the amount of money we thought we were going to spend in FY '26 did not happen, and that's why this year is going to be higher because now dirt is being moved.
Okay.
So, but the overall project cost you see in this slide, Steel Creek is over $43.9 million. That's the bid amount. So we just need to have enough of the funding in place, as these projects come online. But like I said, we also are this deadline in mind, the 28 to 30 Republic landfill may end. And so we have to have all this infrastructure in place in order that if per chance that is not available, we are prepared to go elsewhere so that the community is not impacted.
Wow.
So that's why we do a 15-year model, and we kind of plan it so that there's no rate shock to any of our users, so we kind of spread it over time.
Wow, gosh, this is so, the forethought that you have to have is incredible.
I have a great team. Jeff and his team do a great job, and Don and his team do a great job to kind of think through all this, and they work with finance, who's been awesome to work with to help us put these financial models in place.
Wow, thank you all, that's really amazing.
Okay, Commissioner Dunlap.
Yes, thank you, Mr. Chair. 2 quick questions.
Yes, sir.
Given the fact that we're paying these fees when the average citizen goes to the landfill to make a dump, do they have to pay an additional fee?
No, sir, only if you're commercial.
Okay, so you don't.
Yeah, the residents don't pay even for small amounts. It's the commercial guys that pay. Not at the landfill? No. I'll let Jeff clarify because there's a nuance there. I just wanted to make sure I get it right. Go ahead.
Good afternoon, Commissioners. I'm Jeff Smithberger. I'm your Solid Waste Director. Eb has it mostly right, but I want you all to understand that the residential availability fee is paying for the availability of the infrastructure. When you come to one of our facilities and you throw something away, if you're a Mecklenburg County resident, you may have to pay a fee for the disposal of those items. That's the actual cost of making them go away, not the infrastructure, not the personnel. So you're paying for the landfill cost if we have to take it to the Speedway facility. You're paying for the brush disposal cost if it has to go somewhere else. So there are two fees. The availability fee is broken out for our capital infrastructure and our personnel cost, but what an individual person pays is a reduced rate from what a commercial person would pay. The commercial folks are paying the full burden of all of it together. But as a resident, you only pay for what you dispose of, for that disposal piece.
Okay, so that's what's confusing to people, because they go up the little ramp and their vehicle gets weighed, and sometimes they pay and sometimes they don't. And the difference is, based on what you're telling me, is whether or not there's a disposal fee for whatever they're dumping.
So we have a system that tries to help the residents. And so by that, if you come in with certain items of a small category, you don't have to pay. But once you trip over a certain threshold, then you do pay. For example, if you come in with a box spring and a mattress, no cost. You come in with 2 box springs and a mattress, it's like $10. And so it ramps up. We're kind of like Charlotte Water, but we will give you the first several thousand gallons free, but then after you go over a certain amount, then we charge you for that.
Right. So that clears it up, because people were saying they had to pay, and I didn't think they had to. Oh, the other question is, Ebenezer, related to a question I asked you earlier.
Thanks, Jeff.
The fire liaison.
Yes, sir. The fire commissioner you're talking
Fire
about?
commission liaison. Is it or is it ain't?
It's not there. Actually, for the last 5-6 years, I've not worked with them. We've been working with the chiefs, and it's great. So the chiefs come together and meet with us, and they've been acting kind of like that, because that's what it was made up of previously.
So it was officially disbanded?
I don't know. It's not part of my thing. All I know is it never existed, and I've never interacted with them for the last at least 6 years.
So, Mr. Chair, we need an official answer on that question.
Gotcha. Mr. Manager, you got that, right? Will you say that question again for Commissioner Leek, please, sir?
Do we or do we no longer still have a fire commission?
Commissioner Altman.
Thank you, Ebenezer and Jeff and Mr. Chair. So, for example, the $18 million gap for stormwater financial model input, which is my slide 22. Are you saying that the fees you propose will address that? Because that's
Correct.
a very large
Our
number.
proposal, the 15% adjustment, is intended to smooth out the needs for the next, based on the financial model. Here, for example.
And I'm sorry, I do want to rush you with your answers.
Sure, no
'cause I have
problem. The
quite a few
26, if you see, last year in 2025, when we ran the model, the model said in order to meet all your capital needs, the fee has to go up by 12.5%, highlighted in yellow. For 2026, it has to be 15% and 20% further on.
All right, so those 20% across will get us to meet the $18 million shortfall?
Shortfall, correct, over
Okay.
time.
Next, you said in 8 years, max, our landfill will be full. And I just want to confirm what I think I hear you saying. We are not getting another landfill.
No, not in Mecklenburg County or not in any of the surrounding counties right outside us.
All right, so the plan, which you and your team believe is appropriate and sustainable, is to truck out the waste for this whole county in perpetuity when we get 8 years out. Is that right?
Again, that's the current option on the table. who knows if the finances work out for some other third party to come and build a landfill somewhere. Because right now we have the NIMBY, not in my backyard, where it's almost impossible to build a landfill anywhere.
Yeah.
Right now, for example, New York City and them actually put it on train and bring it down to Ohio.
Wow.
So all of the larger cities kind of have adopted to the model, but we have been fortunate in that we had Republic here. So they had the capacity. They're looking for 7 more years. But solid waste is expensive business. Building a transfer station does not happen overnight. It's a 2 to 3 year process. That's why we were planning since almost 2021 when we put the financial plan in place and design, acquisition of property. Steel Creek, we had to acquire the property almost 4 years ago, and then design it, and then permit it, and then build it now. So.
Got you. Okay. So for listeners, taxpayers who maybe aren't as focused on environmentalism, can you speak to why our, for example, $48 million investment in 2 recycling facilities from just a budgetary standpoint? I mean, because my understanding is obviously the recycling programs reduce our need to truck things out and just be deposited somewhere else. It allows you to repackage them and sell them.
Right.
Yeah? And so to what extent would you characterize our recycling programs as paying for themselves, or if not paying for themselves, reducing other expenses?
Yeah, I think it's both tangible and intangible benefits. Let me deal with the recycling program. 1 year it can make money, 1 year it may lose money. It just depends on the commodity pricing in the open market. So I would not count it as a guaranteed source of income, but it does offset majority of the costs. And some years we make some more money. But every ton that we recycle saves a ton of space in the landfill. So it extends the life of the existing landfill. So that's number 1. 2, and when it finally comes down to transfer stations, the infrastructure we are building, if you can take 3 truckloads worth of trash and compact it into one large one, now there's 1 truck on the road instead of 3. And associated traffic and air emissions and travel time and all that is wasted is now more efficient than it could be. And so that's part of our strategy, is to build transfer stations in strategic parts of town so that whatever is collected there, because right now a truck that collects in Ballantyne has to drive to Speedway. And so all that time on the road, the windshield time, the driver is lost going back and forth. But if you have transfer stations, they just go to the nearest area, dump it, they go on and get it done. So less amount of time on the road, better for air pollution in the long term, but also every ton of recycling saves a ton of landfill space, which is very expensive.
Thank you very much.
Did you have additional questions?
Well, I did want to also just say for the community, like for those who think stream restoration is just about environmentalism, our stream system and repairing it is essential to our clean water system. And I didn't know if you wanted to just say that real briefly so that folks
Sure.
understand that investment.
Stream restoration is important because we are taking impaired streams. That impaired means they are not suitable for fishing, swimming, recreation, whatever, and make them clean enough so we can enjoy it. The side benefit of that is it also helps in an efficient drainage of stormwater. It improves property values and enhances the quality of life. So all of those things are tied in to stream restoration projects. Correct.
Thank you. Commissioner Lee, did you have a follow-up?
I did have a follow-up. I think I may have injected that question into my previous question.
Sure.
People who, thank you. If we have businesses wanting to come to Mecklenburg County, and we bring them in, and they offer all of these items for us to entail in employing people and in providing for them, but yet the fees that come later add to the cost of that business. Am I right?
To a certain extent, yes, Commissioner.
But is that built into the process for those people who are saying yes to companies?
But once they come
Not
in
that
and
I'm saying they don't need to come, please don't feel that. I'm just wondering if they understand. Or they come to us because we're not charging as much as they do in the larger cities.
For example, if a new warehouse comes and builds, right? During building, they pay code enforcement fees and all that. But once they are built, they now have to start paying stormwater fees.
Have to do what now?
They have to pay stormwater fees because of the impervious area. So all of them will start paying some of these fees after the construction, but with respect to everything else, that's above my pay grade.
It's over with. So we do profit from that.
We do charge them the same fees like everybody else once they begin to use our services, correct?
Thank you. So clarity is needed.
Sure.
In terms of the general public. So thank you so much. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you. Eb, I appreciate all of the information. I do want to go back to something Commissioner Griffin said, and I'm not trying to solve to it now. But I know we work really, really hard, Mr. Manager, to make sure that we're keeping costs down, whether it's taxes or fees. But I do think it's important for us to take a look at, are we in the right sweet spot right now? I understand what the projections say, and they are projections. So for 28, 29, I mean, I think the board would be understanding if the 7 changed, right? Based on what we're seeing with respect to growth and what we're seeing with respect to regionalism and the activity that's taking place. So I just want to make sure, I just want to put that out there that certainly we're not holding you to those projections because there are a lot of variables that go into what we're seeing, and I think we should be, sensitive or understand that as well. So thank you for the presentations.
Thank you, Commissioner. That was my caveat too. Next year, if we take 1 year at a time, this is what we think we need for next year. It may go up next year, we'll see.
Yeah, and then I guess the only other thing is, as you are talking about, and we're saying, Mr. Manager, looking 8 years out, I mean, do we have to build that into the fee structure? Because I understand what you're saying for 28 and 29, but if we're looking 8 years out, I mean, do we have to change the structure on the front end to make sure that we're absorbing what we need to do so that a future board is not incurring tremendous, like you said, payment shock on the back end, in year 8, 9, and 10?
And we have actually programmed in all the costs we know, at least in the ballpark figure. We do have round costs going forward. That's why I said, Commissioner, we do a 15-year model.
Gotcha.
So we are looking out 10, 15 years. So we can continue, as we have a certain level of certainty around the next 2 to 3 years about what we think the costs are, but it could go up based on inflation, and we'll come back to you after that.
Understood.
But we'll work with the county manager's office to make sure we are kind of fine-tuning it further beyond the 3 year. Definitely we will.
Thank you.
Yeah.
I appreciate that.
Thank you.
Let me go to Commissioner Rodriguez-McDowell.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I just had sort of a follow-up question. Is it possible, Eb, that we're making it too cheap to be able to demolish things?
It may be, if you ask the historical landmarks folks, they say make it so expensive that they will not want to demolish. But at the same time, there's also the safety, purpose issue balance, For now, what we did was, this is the first year. We may come back next year to recalibrate it. This is the first year we said we'll want to do this so that we can see how things pan out to recover our costs for providing these services. And then we can look at it there. Because it could be a small detached garage to a old apartment complex. So we don't know what the ranges are and where they will be. So that's why we are kind of doing this for now. And once we have a 1 year's worth of data, maybe we'll come back next year to refine it further.
Mr. Chairman, could I possibly ask one follow-up question to that? Yeah. Can you go to page 11? I just really want to make sure I'm understanding this.
Sure.
Where so all those AQ, EH, HL, whatever the heck all those things are.
So for example, less than 500 square feet, they'll pay $500 maximum. So that code gets 125 out of that to review their plans. Air quality gets 150, health gets 100, historical landmarks, if it is in the district, they get $125 out of the 500.
Okay, so currently it's 500.
No, currently it's 122. Did you see the
So
current
it's going
fee?
up to 500.
Correct.
Okay, so it's increasing.
Correct.
Okay. I wasn't quite totally getting that. And so really, we are going up, but we're not going up in a huge way.
Correct.
It's not really stopping anybody from demolishing stuff.
For now, we'll come back next year, see how this year goes, and then we can come and recommend some more adjustments next year, if that's.
Okay, thank you. I appreciate the clarification.
Thank you. Thank you, Evan.
Thank you.
Thanks, Ev. Great job as always. Nick Walker is going to present next. Let's go with Nick. And Nick will be presenting the proposed park and rec fee adjustments for next fiscal year.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
Nick Walker, Park Director, Mecklenburg County. Let me first start off by saying this is actually probably the least enjoyable thing I do. In Park and Recreation, we try to follow a model of charging for the things that we should so that we are able to put on quality, safe programming at little or no cost. I'm going to give you a couple of numbers. We currently operate where 30% of the programs that we put on have a fee associated with them. They vary across the board, so I don't want to get into those particulars. But that means 70% of the programs that Mecklenburg County Park and Recreation put on, we put on at no cost. Across the nation, park and recreation agencies that serve more than 500,000 residents average 27.6% cost recovery. In Mecklenburg County, our numbers are much easier to calculate because we have an $80 million budget and we bring in about $16 million in revenue, which means that we operate around a 20%. And to put that in further context, if we charged at the national average or we recovered our expenses at the national average, that's about $6 million a year less that the general fund would have to contribute to our operations. And again, I wish we lived in a world in which everything that we put on, we could maintain and do at the level that we do, which I think is wonderful. But in order for us to be able to put on that 70% and be financially responsible, we need to adjust our rates to fall more in line with that. Additionally, today we're going to go over what will seem like to you a lot of fees, but in reality is only about 15% of our existing fees. Because we structure things in the categories of adults, seniors, residents, non-residents, military, family, we in total have about 270 different fee categories that we have. And again, today we're going to be talking about them in these buckets and understand that this only represents an adjustment of about 15% of our fees. Lastly, Parks has been playing catch up with our fees over the last few years. Last year we brought several of them to you, and in essence this is really kind of the second half, but I want to cue up the idea for you that our friends in Loaiza have done a really good job of forecasting and looking out. And what that allows them to do is not have huge jumps, 10 and 20% increases, save for the solid waste issues that they were discussing. We would like to follow a similar model. And so my intention is that going forward, we look at something that aligns closely with the consumer price index, anywhere from 2 to 4% based upon inflationary pressures each year. And understand this isn't the auto renew thing where you guys agree to, hey, we're just going to go up by 2 to 4% every year. We will have that discussion. But I think it allows for the end users who are using these services to not have as much sticker shock if they understand that we're simply trying to keep pace with the cost of things. So thank you for indulging me in that, and we will start talking about the actual fees. We have two types of room rentals in Park and Recreation. We have what we refer to as indoor room, which are spaces inside of our facilities, inside of our recreation centers, inside of our regional recreation centers. And both sets, that and what we refer to as indoor shelters or pavilions and special use facilities, have a separate tier because those are actually at a higher level than the facilities that are inside of the recreation centers. But you can see here, what we are proposing is a 20% increase in the indoor room rental rates at recreation centers and nature centers, along with indoor pavilions that have not been increased since 2018. And again, my intent is for as we go forward and we have these conversations, we don't wait 8 years and then jump up 20%. We have honest conversations about the cost for the materials and supplies and the labor and the maintenance of those facilities needs to be kept up with. We use room size, or basically the number of people in our pricing model. We also spend a good amount of time price shopping and comparing against our peer cities and agencies to make sure that we are at or below the market, both for other municipalities and for those in the private space. The idea being that we don't necessarily provide all the amenities that those in the private sector do, but we want to provide a good quality thing, and the market differentiator there is price. So we want to make sure that we're well underneath the going rate in Mecklenburg County. And so you can see here, it ranges across the board from the small rooms, which are 25 people or less, which is currently at $20 an hour. We would increase that up to $24 an hour. And again, we have a 20% kicker on that for out-of-county residents who want to use our facilities. And so that's something we've had in place for some of our facilities, but not all. And so if you'll notice, those are proposed under the 27 and not before. That was something that's been brought to our attention. And again, while it's not a huge amount of revenue, I think it's important that we establish that the people that are paying property taxes in Mecklenburg County are not charged at the same rate as our neighboring visitors. So there's the first set. And then this is what I referred to as indoor pavilion. So again, think Malin Adams, think Park Road Pavilion, but also large facilities like the barn and the facility up at Hornets Nest. Additionally, the Regional Sportsplex has a couple of conference rooms in it, and we have all of those prices there again. And you can see 20%, which again, our intention is to stay at least 20% below market rate and at similar pricing to our peers in Raleigh, Columbia, and other metropolitan areas in the area. MeckPass memberships. This is probably the one that I struggled with the most, but honestly is the one that has the most meaningful impact. We currently have, and I had Jeff pull the numbers for me on the last month, anywhere from 45,000 people a month to, we set a record high 2 months ago at the Northern Regional Recreation Center of 57,000 people going through the turnstiles at that facility. And again, that speaks to a larger conversation that is going on about the number of those throughout the county, but the pressure on them is incredible. And so with that in mind, we sat down to take a look again at market rate, compare ourselves against the YMCA, other private clubs in the area, and also look to see what other metropolitan areas are doing. And based upon both the needs budgetarily and the realities of what we charge, we're proposing a 10% increase. I went back to the team and I said, let's make sure that we're doing everything we can to look at this through a lens of equity. So our proposal is for an increase in adults and families, but not in military members, seniors, or youth. And so, again, I'll show the revenue impacts of that later, but again, that is our proposal at this time. Aquatics fees. Aquatics fees, again, are something that we have not addressed for a significant period of time. I believe I told you this story last year, but one of the most troubling things to me is that we have underpriced ourselves in the market to the point where there are currently organizations that have their own pools that will rent out their facilities and come to the aquatic center for their training and practice. Again, I have no intention to choose violence or start war with anybody, but I think that it's important that we value the services that we provide. I would put what we do at the aquatic center and all of our aquatics facilities up against any private organization out there. I think we do a heck of a job. And so taking a look at marketplace, I had this broken into a couple of different sections. This is for a full facility rental. If your team is coming in and doing a meet at the aquatic center, currently we only have it set up to where you could do an entire day or a half day. In talking to our users, they said, we'd like to see some differentiation in there. Can we do it in 4-hour blocks? Can we do it in 8-hour blocks? And unlike some of our other facilities, the turnover here isn't that difficult. So we propose having a 4-hour rental of the entire facility, an 8-hour rental of the entire facility, a 12-hour, which would have been the previous entire day, and then it runs a little long. Anybody that's ever done a birthday or a repast or something at a facility, there is a knowledge that you may go a little bit long, but you're going to pay a little bit for that. And so that is what you see with the entire facility, 12 plus hours. It's the things ran a little bit long, but at the end of the day, we still have to pay for the staff to be there. We still have to pay for the janitorial service to get it cleaned up afterward. And so we should make sure that that charge isn't being incurred by county residents. This is for swim team pool rentals, so more along the lines with practice that takes up a large part of the facility instead of individual lanes. And so again, here you're seeing a 20% increase, which again, going through that same rubric of looking at other locations, looking at the Triangle Aquatic Center, Rock Hill YMCA, Asheville, Charlotte Latin School, on and on and on. Our rates, even with the increase, are still 25 to 60% below the agencies referenced. But these adjustments allow us to do a better job of getting cost recovery while at the same time providing an affordable option for the teams and individuals that want to use our facilities. And then the last subsection of aquatics, this is the lane rental. And so this is much more, again, along the lines of small teams or people who are working with smaller groups that don't need to rent out half the pool or the whole pool, but what we would charge them for the 25-yard lane, the 50-meter lane, and then the new service on there is actually something that has been approved through our Enterprise Reserve Fund, which is to put in the ability to do live streaming at the Aquatic Center. We've seen great success with this at the Sportsplex in Matthews because, again, the Aquatic Center and the Sportsplex are places that out-of-town teams come in and use. And not all parents travel with those teams to use those facilities. And if we're being honest, not all parents come to the meets at the Aquatic Center. So being able to offer the teams the ability to have live streaming is both a revenue generation opportunity and an opportunity for us to be able to make it easier on the users of our facility. And then lastly, in this tranche is our beer and wine fees. And I will also point out, reminder, this is very similar to what Ebenezer was saying earlier about only the people that use it have to pay for it. If your event at one of our facilities is going to require a beer or wine permit, i.e. you are serving alcohol, then you would need to pull a permit. The $100 per rental as opposed to $52 helps us because that fee actually requires, because of some advice from legal, that somebody physically comes in and does that. And so a staff member has to work with them. It's not something that can be done through an automated process. And so by increasing that fee, which has not been increased in more than 10 years, we're actually doing a better job of making sure that we are able to fund the staff necessary to operate that. And then lastly on this is our annual boat permit, which it's been in existence for $52 for the last couple of years, primarily at Ramsey Creek and Blythe Landing. What we found coming out of the pandemic was that we didn't really have a way of checking the people that were showing up there with large trailer fulls of jet skis. And so we created a process for people to submit all the necessary paperwork to show that they were licensed and insured and able to operate out of those two boat launches, which are really, I believe, the only public boat launches in Mecklenburg County onto Lake Norman. And so what we are requesting is that that fee be in the $260 a year for residents and $375 for non-residents, which again, this is paid not by individual users who want to go out there and put their boat out in the water, but these are the companies that use those places as a place to put boats into the water that they have charged someone else to use. In terms of what does this revenue look like in terms of projections? For rental room and pavilion fee increases, approximately $325,000. The MEC Pass fee increase of $315,000. To put that in context, if we had put this on all users of the MEC Pass, it would have been about $425,000. So it's roughly $110,000 that we're choosing to say, you know, for the purposes of equity and being fair, we don't want to charge this. And then the aquatics increases are approximately $75,000, alcohol and boat permits, $10,000, showing $725,000 to offset some of the increased costs associated and some of the enhancements that we are looking at, both in the regional recreation centers and across the system. So with that.
All right, thanks, Nick. Before I open up to colleagues to questions, we've got two more presentations. We've got commissioner reports. So I'm going to try to keep it at 2 minutes. Obviously, if you need extra time or need to go back around, I'll certainly defer time to you, but I just want everybody to understand that just from a pulse check standpoint. Who has question, comment? Let me start with Commissioner Dunlap this time.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. My biggest concern with the increase, and it's not really a concern, but is making sure that the costs are not prohibitive for community organizations who may not have a way of generating revenue. The other piece that goes along with that is making sure that with all the rentals, there is still community time so that people will be able to go and use the facilities without being a part of a particular group or organization. And then the last thing is, have we considered beer gardens where the county operates the beer gardens and generate revenue? I visited a couple of counties where they do that. I don't know what the revenue source is or the revenue amount, but as a way of generating revenue, just a question, have we considered that or not?
Yes, sir. To your first point, again, that is something that I've challenged the team. We have a lot of organizations that come to us and say, I need this facility for this purpose. And again, we have an across-the-board 25% waiver of fees for nonprofits. But you're right, for some organizations, 75% of the cost is still too much of the cost. And in every instance, I ask the team, is there a way we can either partner with you or help you modify your program, make it free and open to the public, where we can do a 100% waiver? Because I share your vision there of making sure that in an attempt to be financially solvent, we're neglecting a duty to the public. So I echo your sentiments, and I am making sure that the team is very intentional about that. As it relates to alternative funding, man, listen, you're speaking my language. I really believe that we have an opportunity to not just look at the ways we generate revenue today, but the ways that we can generate revenue in the future. Because if we increase our overall budget, that 70% of programming we do for free, the quality of that will go up, and the county's obligation to cover the shortfall with general fund dollars will decrease.
Thank you.
Thank you. Commissioner Leek, did you have something?
I was listening to the question. Does this bring in extra security for the, thank you so much, for the people who are there who may not be interested in buying liquor or beer? That frightens me.
No, and that is, I will say
Age limit, those kinds of things have to be factored into this process.
Yes, ma'am. No, when someone pulls a beer and alcohol permit for one of our facilities, there is an extra layer of scrutiny that goes into evaluating the program to ensure that it is safe and that adequate security is either provided by the renter or is put in place through our normal security channels. But that is something that we do take very seriously. Yes, ma'am.
Making sure that that's
Yes, ma'am.
a part of the process. I've talked with some people in Kannapolis who oversee their operations, and they have a large program going. Have you looked at their program at all?
If you can specifically tell me which program they're talking about, because I do look at a lot of our
Use
neighborhood.
of the facilities.
Yes, and they, again, I think all of the municipalities in and around Mecklenburg County, we really look at their best practices at the programs they do. And one of the charges that I've made to the team is that we continue to do more programming. We can't rely on people to come in our spaces to program for us.
Thank you. Thank you so much. And we look out for our seniors.
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you so much. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you. Commissioner Griffin.
Yeah, I just want to raise, Commissioner Dunlap spoke about regular use by individuals. I think that's certainly not a concern, but don't want it to become a concern in terms of their ability to utilize the facility. The other piece is, because we use, the second ward folk use the gym, we get to see the aquatic center.
Yes, sir.
That place is Grand Central Station.
It is.
I mean, they use the park a lot at the education center. I mean, it is huge in terms of the traffic there. And you guys do a phenomenal job in trying to deliver services there, even for the seniors that go, because several of them are family members and friends of family that use that facility. I just think it's just phenomenal. You mentioned a number. I think you said 45,000 at the.
Now, that's not unique visitors, but that's 45,000 people going through the turnstiles at Eastway. And at Northern, it's north of 50,000. We're knocking on 60,000 people a month using Northern.
Man, I sure could use some of that down Southwest. 50,000, 60,000.
What did the chairman say earlier about Ebenezer? I'm not authorized to talk on that.
20 years, man.
I don't know about that. I may have to run again. Mr. Manager, Park and Rec does a phenomenal job from my experience, and I just want to say thank you for running that team. So, and colleagues, 40, 50,000 and 60,000. Just keep that in mind now.
Can't hear you.
50,000 and 60,000 respectively of those regional rec centers. That just tells you Mecklenburg County has something going, and that's why the 87 people come per day, Mr. Chairman. Thank you for
Absolutely. Commissioner Rodriguez-McDowell.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I agree. I don't really know about these rec centers because we don't have one in my neck of the woods. But I do hear from some of my friends that it's phenomenal, the monthly, that is a monthly amount, right?
Yes, ma'am.
Those aren't yearly, those are monthly, okay. But I support these, tweaks that you're talking about making. The one thing that I just want to raise up that I get the most questions about from my constituents is around, nonprofits and community organizations like HOAs or things like that that would like to use, William Davey Parks, building or things like that. So if you could just talk a little bit about, is there any relief or discounts or whatever for those guys? I would appreciate it.
Yes, ma'am. No, and that's a great point, and it goes to the conversations we have about making sure that we can get people in that wouldn't otherwise have an opportunity to do that. We have, in terms of the 100% waivers, we have sort of three pathways in. One is traditional users, agencies that we have partnered with for a long time and continue to support, either as a county or as a department. The second is events that are free and open to the public and align with our mission, vision, and values, so public health, disease research, things along those lines. And that's free and open events, so educational opportunities, what have you. The third is neighborhood groups and HOAs, who again are having meetings, having educational opportunities, bringing out other county agencies. We work with them to do a fee waiver to make sure that we create space for everyone in the community.
Okay, thank you so much for that.
Yes, ma'am.
Commissioner Meyer.
Thank you. Thank you so much for everything. Just to make sure I heard you correctly, we have about 270 fees in Park and Rec.
Yes, ma'am.
And you're just covering these today, or this is the only, these are the only increases?
This is 15% of those.
This is what?
These that I shared with you today are 15% of our fees. Yes.
Of the fees or the increases?
Yes, ma'am.
So there are other increases across?
No. These are the only increases that we're proposing is.
Okay, I just want to make sure I understood that.
Yes, ma'am.
And could you repeat how many, or just, and I think you use it just as an example, North Rec Center. How many people?
So on average, there's about 50,000 people that use Northern on an average basis. Eastway is about 40,000. However, Eastway just set a record month of about 48,000.
Wow.
And a couple of months ago at Northern, we crossed 57,000.
That is amazing, because Mecklenburg County has a great product, and I'm so proud of it. And I just want to thank you and all the staff, all the Park and Rec staff.
I would love to take credit, but it's them. I have an incredible
They can
team.
take credit.
They can.
They can take credit.
Peter, take credit.
Peter can take credit, but I really do appreciate it and all the work. I've had many people say, in particular Marion Deal, how great it is. I do have that in my, I don't have a regional center either, but I do have Marion Deal, and they just love it. It is their home. They just love it so much. And they've said the Mech Pass is amazing, and it is such a deal. Even with the increase, it's a deal for our residents. So thank you, thank you, thank you. One question about the boat rental.
Yes, ma'am.
What kind of boats? Because we've gone through this with the lakes and how dangerous it is to
Yes.
rent boats, and
I will say Greg Clemmer does a remarkable job of working with the Lake Norman Commission and the local law enforcement up in there, all three towns, Davidson, Huntersville, and Cornelius. And essentially, this just relates to people that are renting boats out of Blythe Landing. So these are entities that want the ability to have people get the boat at Blythe Landing and put it in the water, and Ramsey Creek, have to show us their insurance and their business license to make sure that they're legit.
okay.
Anything that's also on the lake, I got nothing to do with it.
Okay. That's the first time I ever gotten buzzed. I just wanted to know that. That's why she rang it 20 times.
You deserve, anybody deserves to go over it too.
You don't talk about having that skate park that nobody else has.
I got a skate park coming.
You got Discovery put no.
That's true.
Commissioner Altman.
Thank you. Yes, Mr. Manager, I'm sure the messages come through loud and clear. You know, some of our investments, we have trouble getting people to really show up for. We have others bursting at the seams. The community is definitely telling us that these rec centers are a home run. So I know that'll be a part of the equation when your budget comes forward. With this and with the previous discussion around fees for other services for Louisa, I am not convinced that non-residents are really pulling their fair share. You know, there's probably some legal prohibition about how much, how differently we can treat non-residents, and certainly I recognize they're bringing some benefits here in terms of sales tax. But I still am not convinced that residents are not subsidizing infrastructure for non-residents. And I really want to encourage Park and Rec, Louisa, and all of our footprint to ensure that that is not happening at all. Our residents should not be subsidizing non-residents at all in the usage of already overburdened infrastructure
Do it.
and services. So thank you, Mr. Chairman.
All right, thank you. Nick, thank you for the presentation. One, with respect to the fees for veterans,
Yes, sir.
this is just a mark thing.
Yes, sir.
I'd like to see that the same as the youth and the seniors, no fluctuation there. It would just be veterans, youth, senior, boom.
Yep.
That's
No,
one.
it's easy, done.
Okay. Thank you for that.
That was
Non-active military. And again, I've got to check.
Non-active military, I'm sorry.
Who have not reached the age of 55 is what he's talking about.
Just the same as the discount for the youth and seniors. So same thing. Two, I think we continue to hear feedback, and there's just confusion around our nonprofit friends. And I would like to really see us drill down in a distinction on nonprofits. And I hate to make this so entangled, but there's a difference between our grassroots nonprofits, our emerging nonprofits, and our more traditional institutional nonprofits. There's a difference in who can cover
Yes, sir.
any level of fee or discount. And there's also a difference a lot of times in the programmatic efforts that they're engaging in. So a lot of the emerging or grassroots are dealing with vulnerable populations that they're not getting a lot of revenue from. So I don't know if there's a way for us to say, to figure out a distinction so that the pricing can be different, if possible. The other thing is our neighborhood organizations, HOAs, there still seems to be a lot of confusion as to how they can use it, what the discount is, how many free events and how many not. Can they have alcohol? Can they not? Are they charged? I don't know how we clean that up, but, you know, in my district in particular, Veterans Park is always they always want to use Veterans Park. And I always get these emails about, hey, we wanted to have, you know, some light beverages or something like this, and now there's a fee or something to that extent, so.
I'll tell you that the manager and my boss, Leslie, both have pushed that we do a better job of clarifying our policies. And so I believe in about a month, we're going to sit down with the manager, 2 policies not related to fee waivers, but shortly after that, I've challenged the team to make sure that, I believe his term is dais. Would you feel comfortable justifying this policy in front of a group of people? And I want to make sure that we can live that truth.
And to the extent that, you know, there can be some level of engagement with the neighborhood organizations or even the nonprofits to get some feedback. Peter, you know, we've talked about this over the years as well, so you have a lot of information with respect to both of those areas. But definitely appreciate everything that Park and Rec is doing. I think to the point that's been made, I think the board has kind of signaled, particularly over the last year, that we probably need to rethink some of our other huge investments. And I think most people are leaning towards more this regional recreation center. And we certainly know that we get a lot of benefits coming from, you know, health and wellness. And since this is one of our priorities and probably will remain so, I think continuing to invest in these regional rec centers is going to be something we need to take a look at more than just the, and I would, Mr. Manager, I would like to see the difference in the data between our foot traffic and our CRCs and those regional recreation centers. And I know you have I'm going to give you a 1-minute follow-up, and I'll give you a 1-minute follow-up, Commissioner Griffin, and we'll go from there.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Yes.
I just was texting with Commissioner Powell and asked her if there was anything she wanted me to ask. And she said, do the fee increases being recommended match what we had planned for, or are they scaled back for this budget cycle?
I would say that they are actually a little more aggressive than I originally wanted to propose. But in order to be able to help balance the needs of the department, I got over it. And also with the data that I was provided.
And also with what?
With the data that I was provided in terms of comparables.
Okay, thank you.
Mr. Griffin.
Yeah, I just wanted to follow up your comment. I'm waiting for the day when my neighbors are calling me about the use of the neighborhood park.
Understood.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
What about the clubhouse?
You guys good? Hey, Nick, thank you very much. Appreciate it.
Well done, Nick. Thank you. Next presenter is our interim public health director, Dr. Scott. She'll be sharing with you the proposed fees for the public health department, and then we'll wrap up with Stuart.
Sure.
Good afternoon, everyone.
Good afternoon.
So I am here to present updates to the public health fees for FY27. I'd like to clarify that these changes ultimately allow us to accurately bill insurance for the services we provide. So the fees are broken into 2 categories, our new fees and then those that are being retired or dismissed. So I will walk through each of these according to those breakdowns. So the first slide shows new immunization fees proposed for FY27. These 2 fees are basically to cover the cost of immunizations to support meningitis prevention. So the first PenMenV is a vaccine that supports meningitis prevention for 10 to 25-year-olds. And the second, ACT-HIB, is a immunization that supports meningitis prevention and pneumonia prevention for adolescents and young adults. So these fees that are listed on the screen are reflective of those costs that are identified through state recommendations and also federal standards aligned with CPT codes, or those codes that are used to bill insurance. The second set of fees focus on services for tuberculosis. These are, again, standard things that we already do in practice, but making sure that our fees reflect our service and that we're billing accurately. So the first fee is basically a breathing treatment for tuberculosis and has the associated costs that are reflected for that service. And then the second two fees are associated with lab services for tuberculosis treatment and associated costs reflective of those treatments. Again, these are not new services that we are providing to our clients, but making sure that our billing codes are accurately reflective so that we can charge insurance appropriately. This next slide covers our overarching clinical services, so a mixture of some of our family planning or STI services paired with some other clinical services that focus on behavioral health screenings. So I'll talk through the first group, the destruction of lesions and drainage. Those are for our STI clinics. So again, making sure that we have accurate coding to reflect services that we provide to patients who come to our STI clinics. The next section focuses on the brief emotional or behavioral assessment, being sure that we're able to offer screenings when clients come in for any of our services for behavioral health assessments for appropriate referrals and charge accurately once those services are conducted. The next piece is a pelvic exam. And again, this is not a new service, but it's one of the codes that's an add-on code to make sure that we can cover appropriate billing for our clinical time and supplies when clients come into our STI clinics. And the final piece is a nursing assessment or an evaluation of in-home or community-based settings. And this could be applied to a variety of settings. Should we have clients that might have TB or tuberculosis and we need to see them in the home, or if we're doing home-based visiting programs for some of our maternal and child health programs, we can accurately bill if we need to have nursing support that's in a home-based or community setting. So this particular fee reflects the updated codes to charge for that and the new rates from the billing perspective. This next slide covers new medication fees, and these are all reflective of our HIV PrEP clinics. Many of you may know that PrEP is an opportunity to prevent the transmission of HIV for people who are not infected with HIV. So these particular medications are medications that we currently have the opportunity to bill for and has the updated costs for those particular medications. It includes a mix of both oral medications as well as injectables, because we know that oftentimes it can be difficult to get clients to come back to the clinic. So having an option for injectables is a long-term public health strategy, so that as we have people on site at our offices, we know that those injectables, you might not have to take them daily like you might have to do with the prevention pill that you'd have to take day to day. So having some variety in our offerings. The next few slides focus on items that we want to delete from our fee schedule. And ultimately, I won't go through all of the details because they're all basically COVID and flu vaccinations. And this is a standard process. Every year as the COVID and flu vaccinations are updated, there are new codes that are generated for new COVID and flu vaccinations. So ultimately, we need to delete all of the codes from last year so that as we move into the next flu season and COVID season, we can update with those new codes. So the next three slides just show all of the various COVID and flu vaccines that we've administered over the last year that are now considered outdated based on the current CPT codes. So this slide, we have several different variations that we currently use. And my presentation is very brief. Those are all of the recommended changes for public health, and I'm happy to entertain any questions if you have specific questions about the proposed recommendations.
Thank you for the presentation. Let me start with Commissioner Rodriguez-McDowell.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Wow, that really was brief. Okay, so I do have one question for you, though. On page 4, this is just like stepping on one of my little pet peeves here, and I want to make sure I understand. The $5.21 brief emotional or behavioral assessment. This is like the thing where you go to the doctor and there's a checklist and are you depressed, are you sleeping, and you're just going down and doing the check marks? Is that what this is?
Yes, similar, yes.
Okay, so it's not like a person's talking to you or anything like that. It's, this is like a sheet that like everybody comes in and fills out, you know, when they're getting other services?
It's a screening assessment that has a standard set of questions, and based on the responses to those questions, there are follow-up referrals that take place.
Okay, and so the actual, like, patient is paying this, or the insurance is paying this?
This is for our insurance billing. And just to be clear, for our patients, we still have our sliding fee scales. We still have assistance programs, you know, based on whatever the diagnosis or medication that may be required. This is for insurance billing.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome.
Good. Commissioner Leek.
Yes, thank you so much. At the beginning of the school year, you know, we make sure that our families take care of the children with their shots that's needed. Has that decreased or increased in demands because of the leadership from Washington?
Great question. We still have had consistency with our annual event. We have an annual Big Shots event where we support the school system and families in making sure that youth are compliant with their vaccination needs. We've seen steady traffic. We know overall that there are some trends where we're seeing some declines in vaccinations of certain types across the country, just due to overall literacy surrounding vaccines and education. But as far as our Big Shots event, we're still seeing pretty good consistency with participation of parents and community.
In community. Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
Thank you. Commissioner Dunlap. Oh, I'm sorry. I thought you were done when you said thank you. Excuse me.
Next question is, those who travel abroad, I know at one time you had to get those injections before you can go outside of the United States, and Mecklenburg County was charging an enormous amount for those shots. Are we still doing that? At cost or free?
It depends on, one, the vaccinations required and insurance status. So I can provide some follow-up documentation for you based on, you know, those specific factors.
Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
Thank you for the presentation. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you, Commissioner Dunlap.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. I want to go back to the question that Susan raised. I want to make sure that these fees, whether or not there are the insurance rate fees, are these the fees paid by the consumer? And then lastly, as it relates to the COVID vaccine, they're all being deleted. Does that mean we're going to get a new price schedule, or does that mean that people are no longer going to have to pay if they need a COVID vaccine?
So we get a new schedule. It's typically fall that we start to receive the flu and COVID updates. So we anticipate around August that we'll get a new fee schedule for these items. And can you repeat the first question again? Were
the fees the insurance rate, or were they individual rates?
Insurance. So this is focused on insurance and billing, and we still have our sliding fee scales and also just various patient assistance programs to support clients, including those who are uninsured.
Thank you.
Commissioner Griffin.
Yep, George just covered those two questions. So
Gotcha.
Very important for the public to know that this is for the insurance company.
That's right.
Thank you.
So these are Medicaid rates, though?
These rates are a combination of recommendations from the state and federal agencies to help develop the fees for each of these particular services.
All right. Thank you so much for the presentation.
Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Scott. Nice job. Our last presenter for the afternoon is Stuart Gray, our Director for Historic Landmarks. He will be presenting his proposed fee adjustment.
Good afternoon. Can we go to the next slide, please? Oh, I do it? Yes. Okay. I need a tutorial, please. Okay, thank you. Luckily, this is the only slide. My name is Stuart Graham, the Director of Historic Landmarks Department with Mecklenburg County. Here's our proposal for FY 2027 fee adjustment. The fees associated with historic landmarks were last updated by the BOCC in 2005. With inflation, $1 worth of goods or services in 2005 would now cost $1.67. In the chart on this slide, the first column contains our existing and proposed fees. The middle column shows our current fees, fee amounts, and the middle column shows our current fee amounts. The third column shows what we are proposing for FY 27, with the proposed changes in red. Our department and the Historic Landmarks Commission are required to review and approve any changes to designated historic properties, and we break those reviews into major works and minor works, which you see in the columns. Major works must be reviewed by the Historic Landmarks Commission in a quasi-judicial hearing, and those are significant projects such as new additions or infill buildings. Because the fees are linked to the cost of the project, these fees appear to have kept up with inflation. However, we're proposing to increase the fees for projects costing $0 to $200,000 by $100 to reflect the increase of baseline cost for preparing any project or proposal for review. Minor works are reviewed and approved by historic landmark staff. Minor works outnumber major works 10 to 1. These projects may include re-roofing, HVAC work, and minor alterations to historic properties. We are proposing to increase these fees by 50% up to $150. We looked at historic property fees across the state and found that other urban municipalities were charging additional fees for proposed demolitions, after-the-fact applications, and for landmark designations, which we currently do not. Demolition applications and reviews can take as long as 18 months and can require a tremendous amount of staff time. We are proposing a $2,500 fee for demolitions. And I want to add that would be on top of the regular COA fee, which would be also based on the cost of the project. So demolition for, say, I think Ebenezer used the example of a garage. The application fee is not very great, but if it was demolition of a mill building or of an office building, the actual COA fee would be higher based on that sliding scale shown there. So this $2,500 fee is in addition to the regular COA fee. After the fact applications are required for projects that have been started before receiving approval and may involve zoning or permitting and enforcement issues. And these reviews typically require significant more staff time. We are proposing a $750 fee for after-the-fact applications. And again, that would be in addition to whatever COA fee you see there on the scale. Please note that design review fees are not charged for any publicly owned property or for any exempt nonprofit, such as churches or museums. Currently, we do not require an application fee for processing a property for a historic landmark designation, and we are proposing a fee of $500. Please note that the owners of historic landmarks can receive significant property tax deferral and that there would be no fee charged for any designation initiated by the Historic Landmarks Commission or our department. Also note that publicly owned properties, like for the review fees, publicly owned properties and any exempt nonprofits such as churches or museums would be exempt from this fee also. This concludes my presentation. I'll be glad to answer any questions.
Thank you, Stuart. I'm going to start with Commissioner Altman.
Thank you. I understand, like with Louisa, why they need to continue to, like, demo fees, because there's environmental impacts that they need to be making sure that our air and water is not being impacted when a building comes down. But why does the Historic Landmark Commission need to be investing time and requiring a charge for demolition?
Well, demolition is actually the ultimate failure for historic preservation. You know, if we lose a landmark, we've lost something. State law gives us certain tools to fight that demolition. Ultimately, we cannot deny a demolition under state law, but we've got the ability to delay the demolition. And during that delay, we're charged with trying to find solutions, either working with the property owner or working with the local government to see if we can find a way around that demolition. So basically, our understanding of the state law requires us, once a demolition fee has been filed, to spend the next 18 months working to find an alternative. So again, that, you know, when we just look at the amount of time that we spend on demolition projects, say it was a demolition of a house and the cost of the project was going to be $200,000. The amount of time that we would spend dealing with that application versus a $200,000 rehabilitation for that house is night and day.
But just so I'm clear, once whatever decision of demolition has been granted, you use that $2,500 to underwrite the labor costs of trying to overturn the demolition decision. Is that right?
That's appropriate, yes. And I don't know if it's overturned. I feel like that we are spending staff time doing what the state law allows to be done.
Which is sort of like an appeal after you've lost. It's charging the owner your cost to appeal a decision they want. I definitely appeal to the more senior members of this board to provide insight to that, because that seems kind of surprising to me. Thank you.
Thank you, Commissioner Griffin.
I'm not one of the senior members of the board. Just a question, and I might be asking it the wrong presentation. Hypothetically, let's say I lived in a historic designated community called McClory Heights, and hypothetically, I wanted to do $200,000-$300,000 worth of changes. I'd have to come to you and pay a $500 fee to get an approval of what those changes would be.
Without looking at the fee schedule and without looking at it, particularly, that's generally correct.
Wow.
But you've got to remember, if you are living in a designated historic property, you're receiving a significant property tax reduction every year. We can tell most folks that are considering landmark designation that they're going to receive much more in the terms of a benefit from that designation in terms of the tax deferral, which is essentially a tax deduction, than they're ever going to cost for their I mean, the fees are probably minuscule compared to that when you consider what people are paying for property tax.
All righty. Thank you, sir. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you. Commissioner Rodriguez-McDowell.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. My first question is about, can you explain about this quasi-judicial hearings? Can you just say more about what those are?
Yeah, state law requires, and this is not just for landmark designation, but for any consideration of any design review, which might be with a design review board, or even I would think any kind of, at any point, like in a rezoning or permitting where you have to go through an architectural design. They require a quasi-judicial hearing for that design review. And now that I'm thinking about it, probably is limited to design review boards, local historic districts, and landmarks commission. There may be other examples. But again, state law requires it. And quasi-judicial hearing, we have to treat it like a legal case. People have to be sworn in. We follow the strict rules laid out. We've got good guidance from the School of Government that gives us pretty much a an outline of how we conduct those hearings. We try to make it as user-friendly as possible, but again, that is just a requirement by state law, and that law came to effect probably about 5 years ago.
Oh,
We
okay.
used to handle these design review cases differently, and because of that, the Landmarks Commission, we suggest the Landmarks Commission that they look really heavily in producing some design guidelines so we can handle most of the cases through many more cases than we used to through minor works, which is a really efficient way to do it. That doesn't go in front of the commission, it's done by staff. And again, I think we're probably about a 10-to-1 ratio of minor works. And a big part of that push was to avoid having to go through the process of a quasi-judicial hearing.
Okay. So to answer Commissioner Altman's, that's a really interesting question about the demolition fee, which is a new fee for us. I think what we're trying to do is discourage demolition, right? And so to put that $2,500 fee in there is sort of like a double tap on, like, hey, are you sure you really want to demolish this? I mean, but it doesn't sound very high, that it would turn people away from doing that.
Well,
It's not really
I'll say two things. One is, if you own a designated historic property, that means either you worked to have it designated or you bought it knowing it was a designated landmark. When we came up with this $2,500 fee for demolitions, because we looked at what everyone else around the state was doing, and I believe the closest representation was with Charlotte's Historic District Commission. And if they don't have that exact same fee, it's very close. So we've got precedent for it. And we're trying to make sure that we're charging the fees that reflect the work put into it. I don't want to say that it's, I wouldn't phrase it like you did, that it's a double whammy or that we're trying to prevent. We don't want to see demolition, but when we looked at how much work we spend and spend with what's laid out in state law for us that we should be doing, that's how we came up with this fee. It's just a good bit of work when you're dealing with a designated property that's facing demolition.
Thank you so much.
Mr. Dunlap.
Yeah, one question. I'm the average citizen, and I'm looking at your presentation. And when I look at these fees, it appears to me that the people on the lower end are being increased while those on the upper end kind of remain the same. Other than just the amount of work that you put into a project, there has to be another reason to justify why somebody who's doing $200,000 worth of improvement requires an additional increase, and the person who's doing $1 million, the increase doesn't change.
Yeah. We try to look at everything through an equity lens. We're very, very clear on that. And what I would say about these fees is, again, as the cost of projects as the cost of building, I think I gave, even up here, the 67% increase of inflation since these were adopted by the BOCC in 2005. So we were concerned about, are we being fair? Minor works, for example, are going up 50%, but inflation's gone up 67%, so I feel like we're being conservative there. But with these base fees of $100 added to the current fee schedule for the $0 to $100,000, again, that $300 reflects, and it's a 50% increase versus 67% inflation, but that fee reflects the basic cost it's going to take our staff time to prepare the application to be considered through that quasi-judicial process. And when we look at the $400 fee, that's I can't do the math, but I think that's probably a 33% increase in that fee. And again, the rest of them, the 500, 751,000, people are paying a lot more in these fees because the project that used to cost $1 million on a commercial property now costs 1.6 or 1.7 million. So once we get away from our base cost of just putting the material together, getting it prepared so we can present it to the Landmarks Commission, we feel like the rest of the fee schedule takes care of itself because inflation drives those fees up.
Thank you.
Thank you. I want to piggyback off of Commissioner Dunlap for a second. To sort of clarify, the project cost is, there's not a correlation with capacity as far as income.
No, sir. No, sir. This project cost.
It's just the project itself, right? So you could have, theoretically, you could have a millionaire that just happens to have the $100,000 project. It's not necessarily based on Mark's income.
And it's not based on the value of the property either. It's just based on these numbers, these estimated costs are going to be the same number that you put on your building permit when you go down through the Louisa process. So we're telling folks, whatever you're putting on that building permit, that's the cost that you need to use to estimate what the fee is going to be. And we can check that by going into Louisa. I'm getting off a little topic here, but yes, this could be, it could be $1 million roof replacement for a big commercial building. It could also be $50,000 door or window replacement in that same building.
I got you. Okay. Commissioner Leek, I'm sorry.
Thank you. That's all right. When you say demolition fee, I'm thinking about Johnson C. Smith right on that campus or behind it. There's an old church that's dilapidated. It really needs to be demolished, and it's just there on Campus Street. So what is the process when you say that churches and other facilities will not have to be demolished?
Well,
yet it's wrecking the community.
John C. Smith, if they do get approved for any kind of permit, they don't pay any of these fees because they are exempt.
No, it doesn't belong to Johnson C. Smith. It's one of the local Baptist churches.
Johnson C. Smith owns that property. And
thank you.
And I'd be happy to give you more information about that project. I'd be happy to shoot you some information. Feel free to call me.
Please do.
Yes, ma'am.
And thank you for your presentation.
Well, thank you.
Thank you, Stuart.
Thank you, Stuart. Good job.
Thank you.
Mr. Chair, that concludes the items we have on the agenda this afternoon.
Thank you, Mr. Manager. We'll move to commissioner reports. Who has a report today? We'll start with Commissioner Rodriguez-McDowell. Do you have a report?
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I just wanted to give a shout out to Jeffrey Smithberger and Aaron Stanforth and, of course, Dr. Johnson for I went to the Recycle the Runway event on Saturday at North Lake, and that was my first time being able to make it to that event, and it was so great. How many of y'all have never been to that?
I've been.
Have you been? Oh, my gosh. It was so cool. It's Recycle the Runway. It's where the students use recycled materials to create fashion. And so they have like design teams, and then they have the teams that actually, create the costume, and then they have the kids that wear, not costume, but the outfit or whatever. And so some of the awards they get is the most creative use of recycled materials, the greatest variety of recycled materials, best in show, and crowd favorite, and it just was a great time, and I just wanted to give them a shout out for doing such a great job on pulling that off, so thank you.
Fantastic. Commissioner Leek.
I just want to announce that the King and Queen of England was presented today by the President of the United States of America, and I was hoping as a historian, many of you watched that and listened to the presentation to see how impactful it was. And also the previous evening, the efforts to assassinate our president. The history of our country and the state that we're in today is not just in local issues, it's an international problem. And many seniors are concerned about the welfare of themselves and the community. So I'm asking us to make sure that we are cognizant of what we say and what we do and with whom we do it and why we do it. So, but to see a king of England who has lived and nobody criticized his age or his wife's age, quite active in serving the people of that community. So thank you for allowing me to say that.
Thank you, Commissioner. Commissioner Griffin.
Yeah, real quickly, just want to announce that on Monday, May 4th, Robert Big Al Montgomery is going to be inducted into the Gaston County Sports Hall of Fame. Robert Montgomery was a longtime educator, over 30 years here in the Charlotte Mecklenburg schools. He was the head football coach at Second Ward for many years, but he also retired from CMS after 30-some odd years. But to let you know, he was a distinguished athlete from Highland High School during those segregated days. He was an elite CIAA athlete at North Carolina Central, and he went and tried out in the American Football League with the Patriots back when it was the American Football League before it became the New England Patriots. But phenomenal athlete that grew up in Gaston County but spent his professional life as an educator here in Mecklenburg County. He'll be recognized on Monday, May the 4th.
Thank you for that. I want to lift up two things really quickly. One, I want to offer our condolences to Representative Aisha Dew on the passing of her mother, Ruth Sloan.
Yes.
I know this is a really trying time for our colleague and our friend, and so I just want her to know that our thoughts and prayers are with her and her family. And so the other thing that I wanted to just make sure to say was this, is that, and Commissioner Leek referenced this, when you think about violence that's taking place in the country, I'm just going to encourage all of us as colleagues to continue to stay vigilant as you are out and about.
That's right.
You're very accessible. You're in a lot of places. And I think we need to continue just to make sure that we are aware and taking every precaution to protect ourselves and our families. So wanted to just lift those two things up. And with that, I will entertain a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Moved and seconded. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Meeting adjourned. Thank you.
My staff members